So my favourite Pokemon is Mimikyu. It's just over there, if you hadn't have guessed. I didn't like this Pokemon when it was first announced in its reveal trailer during the Sun and Moon hype. I thought it was a bit of a silly idea, but I got to using it and realised it was quite strong. And then I've slowly grown to love its unique sort of background story, origin story. You know, if you see its true form, you will perish. So what Mimikyu does is that it dresses as the popular Pokemon, Pikachu, and just wants to be loved by people. You basically, you know, it's a cosplaying ghost fairy type Pokemon. And I don't think that you can get much better than that. It's pretty cute and I absolutely love it. So at this moment, Mimikyu is and probably will be my favourite Pokemon for a very long time.
I have answered this question so many times already in Let's Plays and conversations with friends, and really just all across YouTube and Twitter in general. And for me, that little guy is Eevee. It's weird. Eevee was not my favorite Pokemon until probably a couple years back, to be honest with you, when Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu came out. That's when Eevee really became my favorite character. I just love the design of it. I really enjoy just seeing the concept and idea and behind the scenes of really how this Pokemon came to be. I really like that this Pokemon can evolve into different types right now. I am still a little bit upset that we did not get to see anything like that happen in Sword and Shield, but it is what it is.
Who's your favorite Pokemon and why? Well, this is a very, very loaded question for me. I'd have to say my personal favorite is Eevee. It's so fluffy and cuddly and very, very full of potential. I mean, it has 8 evolutions, or evolutions as they're called, so it's pretty versatile. Gotta say so myself.
My favorite Pokemon is a little bit of a weird one. It is actually Lickitung, and it's not because I love playing with it in the game. It's because when I was younger, my dad would take me to a flea market, and if I woke up at 6 a.m., had a good attitude the whole day, we would get to go to a vendor who collected and sold Pokemon cards. And so over the years, I had multiple cards, a lot of things that I wish I still had today. But overall, my dad really enjoyed Lickitung. He bought a lot of the versions of the card. He bought some toys that I played with as a young kid. And so in my heart, Lickitung always was that special bond between me and my dad. And there's a lot of memories there. Like I said, don't really love him in the game that much, but as a Pokemon and all, he's one of my favorites.
What is my favorite Pokemon and why? Well, obviously it's Gengar. I mean, he's not everywhere on my screen here, but the real reason why Gengar is my favorite is watching Ghastly Haunter and Gengar messing around with Ash back in the TV show. Just absolutely fell in love with his carefree demeanor and always wanted to play pranks on everybody.
Well, as some of you may know, it is Starmie. I love Starmie. I love the way it looks. I love the typing, Water Psychic. I love the moves it can learn. It's just so majestic and beautiful with the colors and the jewel. And it became my favorite when I was playing the games and watching the anime as a young kid. Seeing Misty Starmie, I was like, wow, that is a really awesome Pokemon. And starting playing the games, it can learn a lot of moves. It's a great special attacker. It's somewhat fast. It's an overall good Pokemon to use in any sort of run that you're playing. And like I said, it has great type coverage. I mean, it can learn Surf. Well, obviously, it's Water type, Psychic, or Psychic type, of course. And it can also learn TMs like Ice Beam and Thunderbolt. Very powerful special attacking moves before the physical special attack split and even after. So Starmie has some great type coverage, some great moves.
My favorite Pokemon and why? I don't know if you can see him, but it's always been Butterfree. So for me, it's been Butterfree since the beginning of the cartoon days. Like as an adult, so 25, 30 years later, whatever that looks like. Seeing the Bye Bye Butterfree episode, I mean, like an emotional episode, but everything that led to that, I always really resonated with Butterfree. It was like one of my favorites. You know, all my friends growing up were Charizard, Blastoise, Venusaur, Dragonite, like all the big name Pokemon per se. I always felt like Butterfree was super underappreciated. And then leading to that episode where, you know, he left Ash, I think it just kind of instilled that he was like my favorite Pokemon. So
I feel kind of basic answering it like this, but I have to say my favorite has been and always will be Charizard. I love Charizard, and Mega Charizard X finally made my boy a Dragon type, so I pure nostalgia. That's the whole reason. I love Charizard. I have some other close favorites, but Charizard takes the cake for me every single time. I love Charizard. Never will not like Charizard.
So what's my favourite Pokemon? God, this is a very, very hard question because what are we at now? Over 800 different Pokemon or something. But for me, it's got to be Charizard. From Kanto, the very first region, the Kanto region. Charizard's such an awesome Pokemon ever since I saw Pokemon the Movie 3 with Entei and the Charizard battle when Entei knocks Ash off the cliff or something, and then Charizard just comes up with him on his back. It's awesome. Charizard for me, 100% has been my all-time favourite. Nothing's ever trumped it, so for me, gotta be Charizard.
Okay, so I don't really want to be this guy, but my favourite Pokemon is Charizard, as I'm sure a lot of people's is. But the reason for mine goes back to when I was a kid watching the anime. And it's just, obviously, in the anime, Charizard didn't really listen to Ash at all. He just did what he wanted. He thought he fell asleep all the time. Like, it was quite funny. But then the episode that I love is when Poliwrath and Charizard have a battle. Can't remember who owns the Poliwrath, but Poliwrath and Charizard have a battle. He beats him, and then Charizard gets frozen, and Ash is like looking after him all night and stuff. And then the next day they battle again, and Charizard changes his mind. And he listens to Ash, and it's just incredible. He becomes the best Pokemon. It's just the memories of me watching that and getting so excited as a kid. So that's why, from that point on, I loved Charizard. To be honest, like, it's just incredible.
My favorite Pokemon of all time is definitely Teddiursa. The reason for this, first of all, it is just horribly cute. There's nothing to be said there. It is just an adorable little bear Pokemon, huggable, snuggable, everything you want. Also, when I was first playing the Gen 2 games, Pokemon Gold, Silver, and Crystal, Teddiursa is always a Pokemon that I had a hard time finding, and I would always end up getting an Ursaring in Victory Road and going to beat the Elite Four with it, so I'd always use Ursaring. Then when I finally found my first Teddiursa, it just automatically became my favorite thing.
So my favorite Pokemon is Sceptile, and the reason for that is because I mainly got through Pokemon games by playing a game that was on Roblox before it was called Project Pokemon. And at the beginning of the game, you could choose any starter from any of the games. They had them all available. The game was designed to have you go through the Kanto region gyms, and it was kind of like Kanto and Roblox, but you could choose any starters, so that was cool. Like, every Pokemon was in the game. And I chose Trico a lot more than any other Pokemon, even though at the time Charizard was my favorite Pokemon. I just liked using Trico a lot because, you know, grass-type starters are the best in Kanto playthroughs, especially early games, so I decided to go with Trico, and then after a while I just started getting a lot more into Sceptile. Thought Sceptile was really great, and you know, here I am. Sceptile's been my favorite Pokemon for a long time now, and I just love Sceptile.
So it's a tough choice. I do like so many Pokemon among the 800 plus there are, but I think the absolute number one that stands out to me has to be Camerupt, and the reason why, I just kind of feel like me and Camerupt have a very similar personality. We're fairly chill, we're fairly relaxed, kind of go with the flow until something sets us off, you lose your temper and I absolutely blow up. Also, he's just a camel with volcanoes on his back, so that's kind of adorable. So all in all, I think I have to give it to Camerupt.
I'm probably going to have to go with Altaria. And it's mostly because it's like a fluffy cloud. That's also a dragon, so that's pretty cool. I think that's unique. And stat-wise, they're not too bad, and they have a pretty good move pool. In Colosseum and Emerald, I would usually have one on my team, just because, well, in Colosseum especially, a limited Pokemon, so I would just clean through the region with it. And then once, I think it was Omega Ruby, yeah, came out, and with the new Megas, I just loved having it on the team.
My favorite Pokemon is the Pokemon Zangoose. It's modeled after one of my favorite actual animals in the real world, the mongoose. Something I really love about Zangoose as well is the fact that it has a rivalry with the snake Pokemon in its respective regions, Viper. And in the real world, mongoose and snakes are often rivals for prey.
My favorite Pokemon is Otera. Terra, of course, being from Sinnoh, and Sinnoh being my first region. I started with Turtwig the first time I played, so the entire line just feels really special to me. But also design-wise, if you see how the Terra looks, design's amazing, really well executed. Just looks like a really badass Pokemon, so that's an easy pick for me. It has to be Torterra.
I would have to say my favorite Pokemon is Samurott, the formidable Pokemon. I've always liked Samurott, from its design to its concept to its whole evolutionary line of it going from a meek Oshawott to a formidable Samurott. It always struck me as this Oshawott went through some serious discipline and came out as a stronger warrior because of it. And that's a symbolization of how you can improve yourself in a way, where if you discipline yourself and try hard enough, you too can attain whatever you need to in the future, whether it be fame, fortune, or money. And that's always something I found to be inspiring about the Oshawott line. I've also used it in many playthroughs throughout Unova. I even used it in fan games where it was available to choose. It's always been that Pokemon that I can always use. It may not have the best stats when it comes to competitive, but it's always been that Pokemon that I feel could hold its own in any field that I try to put it in.
My favorite Pokemon is definitely Crocodile. I mean, it just looks so powerful, and every time I play through a Unova game, I make sure to pick one up because it destroys everything in its path, and not only to mention that, it has a powerful Moxie ability, which just makes it even more broken, essentially, but also it just looks so cool. And I basically low-key like fangirl every time I see it, so yeah.
My favorite Pokemon is Rockruff because I think it's adorable, and also it reminds me a lot of my dog Rilo. But also, there's also another reason that I actually thought of as well. Because like, when the games were first revealed, it was actually the first non-legendary, non-starter Pokemon we ever saw, which, you know, obviously that's gonna make the Pokemon really memorable.
Oof, this is a really tough question for me. With almost 900 Pokemon, there are a lot of them I like a lot, so my favorite is constantly changing. But currently, my favorite is Morpeko. I've always really liked the Pikachu clones, especially like Dedenne, Emolga, and in recent memory, Morpeko is my favorite. And I just like the cute design, but also I love that it's electric and dark type. It's such a great type combination, and it's like two of my favorite types combined. On top of that, I love its cute design, and I love that it stores snacks in its pockets. I really love snacks, like sweet things like cookies and stuff like that, and yeah, I just vibe with it. I also really like its appearances in the Pokemon Journeys anime that it's had so far.